international events. I mean, Magnum has spoken in press interviews as well, talking about how, you know, they're familiar, I think, with the way that FPX are going to be playing, but they're not going to be coming into this underestimating a team like FPX.
No, certainly not. Magnum quoted in the press conference saying, it's Valorant, anyone can lose. Here we go then, into the pistol round, and Karmine Corp have 3 players up towards A. Anticipating this space control perhaps, but FPX are not committed with it.
Not quite. Flash to clear with the Dizzy, all combined up. That's going to be the dash active now for Martin. Using that in the response of it, but there's no go button pressed here for FPX. Keen to just wait this one out on the opposite side of the map. Autumn went poking around, and he managed to catch Tomazy. Good opening here. I mean, it does open up the B side entirely. A repeat from Live. He's got the heal online, but Martin returns with the kill. Nice trade.
Lysor didn't buy the orb in this round, so having to use the wall in order to escape there, that means there's going to be no wall placed down over towards B. So Karmine Corp are going to have opportunities to try to deny this plant, though they are players down.
That's true with the paranoia here, FPX. One of the sight lines blocked off.
Now look at this, the Omen smokes are lovely for them to take more aggressive positions on site.
Karmine Corp all up towards Kitchen, doubled up here, but just picking and choosing their battles at the right time.
They have no idea.
They have no idea where they're being shot from. Through the grates here, 1 player left standing, it's Lysor. We'll see what they can do. Snake bites, at least 1 connection, but the wall's up in their face. They've got to really just get a move on as well, wrapping all the way around here. Shin sticking the defuse here for the pistol round. It's all Karmine Corp.
And that's the power of that retake. It's what the devs were talking about. Karmine Corp look so good in those kind of situations, but really, the retake wasn't even where the danger was averted for FPX. It was the fact that Magnum was able to pick off 2 from this angle. I mean,
yeah, looking all over the place. Look
Autumn
at it. I mean,
is completely lost
on us with them.
And this is where you might start to see the cracks in FPX, because they've talked about the fact that the language barrier has been an issue for them, a really big one in the past. Berlin said in the press conference he's having to repeat the communications twice a lot of the time in English and in Chinese so that everybody on the team's on the same page. That's going to introduce delays, and it was an unusual position anyway for Magnum to be taking that fight.
The pistol round secured, deep Omen smoke. Magnum has to body check a lot of this space, really. There was some danger there, but clears out towards mid, knowing that nobody's lurking.
And those lurks are going to be a pretty important part of how FPX creates threats on the attack side. Smokes from Lysor and Berlin need to be dealt with. And sometimes that's going to require face checking, and when there's opponents hiding inside smokes, that's a great way for teams to get upset wins.
Yeah, here we go. Offload into util here with the Dizzy. Play's not been pushed off from the backwards positions though, out towards the back and aside. It's a nasty and messy spray. No kills collected there, but only just for life here with the heal online. But now reinforcements are here, finally arriving. Multitudes of targets to pick from, but really Karmine Corp coming up green in the kill feed.
Blue, surely.
I mean, well, okay.
Some kind of teal.
It's a teal. You could make the argument.
Easy cleanup, despite it looking a little labored there from the right early on. And now FPX, first round where they can do some serious damage after the pistol. 5 Vandals facing off against KC, who have 3 Bulldogs online as well.
Turret out.
Clear weaponry advantage for FPX, especially down these longer angles, so they might want to take over towards B. And defaulting the Viper wall, A, at the start of this round. Not quite the same as they did on the pistol, because this time we've got that Viper orb coming down mid too.
Does have that threat of potentially working their way through into mid. Karmine lovely. Would love to set their sights onto a bonus round conversion. As you said, longer fights to be taken with the rifles of FPX, and they're cautious. Just at the beginning, initially here. They don't want to run into things. Omen smoke now propped up, will divide up the site and allow them to start to take a bit more of that space once they clear through the appropriate positions. But we're almost down to a minute on the clock.
And they haven't created too many threats in mid either.
Almost betrayed there by the ponytail, but Shin gets away with it.
And Berlin, with nobody there to try to support, the IGL gets picked off with no advantage, no possibility of a trade, no information even as to where Shin and Martin could have repositioned to. As FPX come back in here, they're going to have to use these flashes, the Dizzy, just to try to figure out where those players on defensive A would have gone.
Yeah, and it orchestrates kind of exactly where these FPX players are going. Now it really does feel like it's going to be landing into an A hit. Shin,
it's great timing on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, for the precisely right moment. The rate Flash over the top. It's going to be going straight through the gap at the top there. Good connection. Martin willing to take the fight. The transfer damage done, but no kill. In fact, that's all life here, just leading the charge for the rest of his team. Is there only going to be clean up onto Shin eventually?
Very weak.
12 seconds, and yeah, life is weak. Pops the ult off. Might be able to get something going with this one. At least needs one more kill for it. Nobody watching. There it is. Geared back up. Needs to get the plan down. 4 seconds. Taps. Forcing into the 1v1. It's the only win condition for life, and time is born and played. Frantic in the minute moments. I mean, minutia making the difference there.
That's a wild one for FPX to not convert, honestly. The spray from Martin was really labored, a little similar to Narrate when we saw him with the Bulldog in round 2.
10 seconds left.
But how Magnum gets past there without Life being able to get the kill. Life whiffing on the spray means that Orton goes down, and Life unable to convert in the 1v1 as well. He decided to go for that, the duel instead of just sticking the plant. That's a tragedy for FPX early on.
Back to me.
Knocks the economy down a peg or two, so going to be working with some weaker weaponry. Life's going to be after making the most, I think, of this Guardian purchase.
It looks fairly explosive here over towards B. And having that ult online, it would be a really large investment early on before you've managed to create a pick for yourself.
Smoke's finally back online now to just cut off sections onto the site. Snake bites and mollies just in case they want to press the advantage and push also back at the side. But it's just being held for control here. Karmine Corp happy to play this retake.
A lot of focus being put on that angle where Magnum managed to pick up 2 on the pistol. A weak spot, perhaps.
We'll see now. There's Wingman. That's going to be spotting out a player or two. Berlin. Let's get the initial kill, but not enough to get the follow-up here. But down below the bridge, where's the expectation of it? Narrate, he was dropping down, but not enough bullets in the clip to really finish him off. 3v3 shots, Life regaining the advantage potentially there. It's traded back and forth. It's Narrate versus Ayang. Narrate comes up with the goods. Rifle in his hands to get the job done.
And plenty of time left on the clock too. That one had danger in it. It absolutely did. But Karmine Corp still managed to forge their way up to 4. FPX deciding not to invest Ayang's ultimate into that round, where perhaps it could have made the difference. It did end up being fairly close. Frankly, if Autumn even gets that kill, the round is looking really dodgy.
Remaining.
I gotta say, while Karmine Corp are up 4-0 here, this is not the same level of clinical play that we saw from them in EMEA when they were making that run. There's a lot of conversation about, because we've seen so many unexpected teams make it to Masters Madrid, with so many rookie players as well ascending to this premier level of the game, are people going to adapt to the stage quickly? If you have some nerves, how do you play through it? It feels like it's a little touch and go at the moment for Karmine Corp, but enough to be able to get them over the line in these rounds. And similar nerves on the other side for FPX. You got to remember, FPX are a team, this is their 3rd time getting to a global event. They've only ever been able to take 1 map at a global event before, and that was against the old Karmine Corp when they played first time at Lock-In. It was a 2-1 victory in favor of Karmine Corp, and that was the old, Melons lineup. That wasn't the Madrid clean, clinical Karmine Corp that we've come to expect after their running kickoff.
It's well-honed squad, and to just touch on that rookie point as well, maybe that inexperience rearing its head for some of the players. Karmine Corp looking like one of the youngest rosters I think that we've got coming into Madrid.
They are, yeah.
Maybe that does showcase. Of course, some of them do have that international experience.
They do, and you see Magnum up there towards the top, managed to find that hole in the pistol round and has been very consistent so far on the defense side for his team. So we get to see another rifle round here, starting to get up towards some big ultimates too. Narrate and Magnum's ults in particular going to be excellent on the retake as Narrate takes first contact and wants to hunt for more.
He's not scared, is he?
No, Shin was holding up towards the belt, so he had angles covered. Martin's crosshair placement looked like it might have been off for just a moment as Ayang's head poking below, but I don't believe they caught any whiff of the jet stuck in that corner. I say stuck, hiding.
He's got the
starting
dash,
a trap.
To get out. Yeah, it's a lovely position to play in. FPX quite like what they were seeing just from cutting the noise there. They show a bit of that presence just initially, now making their way over towards B. Contact reclear, is that what's going to be called here?
Certainly looks like it. The same kind of B end with that double omen smoke setup that we've seen from FPX in a few rounds so far.
All the util combined together. Unfortunate for Life there. He will fall just through the smoke as it was propped up. Bloomed and blossomed, but FPX keen to still play this one. Maybe a bit more aggressively as well. Look at the position of some of these players. Berlin taking a peek out towards Kitchen, expected though. Now you see it, Thrash exchanged. Dropping down onto either side, Detainment potentially there. Looks like it, yeah, Berlin. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and now positioning, being swarmed and approached from every possible angle. I saw, realizing now that really has to give it up. Wasn't that mid position, he was the insurance policy, but now has to save that rifle.
Gutting as Karmine Corp get up to 5. Absolutely putting away FPX. This is looking like they've got a very good idea of how they want to deal with this classic exec that we're seeing from FPX. Nobody is getting caught on sight. Tamashi is just getting a kill by spamming a common angle where he's expecting them to be pushing up, defending that over push into Snowman and making sure that they have the pieces together to be able to get back in onto site. FPX are finding it difficult here to force the fight. It's one of the big powers of their composition is the ability to combo flashes together. And they're not really finding an opportunity to do that because Karmine Corp are playing so much further back.
Initial expenditure of util, but they are playing really far back. I mean, that's just the retake protocols.
Get out of my way.
Desk was mentioning it. It's super, super well drilled for Karmine Corp.
Yeah.
The bread and butter really of, you know, what was getting them so many of the wins because they were looking so well honed.
And there's always a little bit of danger when you allow your opponents to plant against you so often that you wouldn't be able to pull it off. You know, most teams, even the great ones, are only converting something like, you know, a third of their retakes. But these teams at this event are looking to try to change that. So this makes it feel like it's something similar over towards B, but it's not a full commitment.
No, in fact, they haven't used both the smokes. I mean, Berlin hasn't locked off the angle, so they're getting information the entire time. Magnum has just been egoing the angle on B.
And Martin, ready, waiting, not spotted in this position before.
Be able to receive this. Now, Dizzy wasn't collected over towards B to clear it, so they don't even have that util to clear this angle. Up top, though, yeah, crosshair placement. You've got to take a gamble if you play in that spot. It could come from 2 different directions, so gambling incorrectly there. Life is the one to capitalize.
Magnum, though, still with ultimate. How does FPX deal with that?
They're down with a wingman, clears out a bit of the site. Now the plan online, but here's the lockdown.
Oh, yeah, denied from even going for that.
They can't go for the plan. Time. They have to fight this one. FPX have to make a call to do so, but now Detainment, it's going to be happening anytime soon. This is a round basically done and dusted. Online there with a res. Magnum back into the fight, 3 versus 3, but with time like this, I mean, there's just no chance. You have to kill everybody. It's not there for FPX.
And a complete tactical outplay there by KC. They're thinking ahead to, in terms of the ultimates that they have available, it's very clear that that lockdown is going to get used. And FPX didn't come up with a game plan quickly enough to try to challenge it before it went down, didn't have a game plan to try to increase the tempo, and I think we're just expecting to get the plant for free. They're thinking, all right, KC, they've been playing retake this entire time. They're just going to use lockdown, we're going to be able to play the plant. And Aeon could not get that spike down.
Yeah. I love to see this.
The overall game plan of Karmine Corp just fundamentally is fantastic as well. Been playing super far back on B, almost conditioning that they've got nobody playing towards B main or towards yellow whatsoever, and then they're playing these one-and-done angles towards A. I mean, yes, Martin ended up falling, but they've just been doing such a fantastic job. And like you said, you know, too delayed in terms of just thinking about the game plans. Karmine Corp 1 step ahead.
This is also the second timeout for FPX, called already. So if we, you know, framing this in the context of FPX trying to get this revenge matchup against a Karmine Corp that's retooled so heavily, looking for a potential good beginning to Madrid, this is a disaster. They had their chances early on in some of these rounds, but the later that this is going, the less and less chance it looks like they're getting as Karmine Corp polish things up a little and get comfortable, get into the groove. Down 0-6 without any timeouts remaining. If they don't end up winning this rifle round that we're about to watch, it's a disaster zone.
That could be dire.
I mean, they are quite literally running their heads into a brick blue wall right now. They cannot find a way through.
Now, are they going to get conditioned? You can see elements of it from Karmine Corp. Again, like I was saying before, they weren't playing anybody up close towards B. They've got Martin with an op now. He's playing in this spot. Karmine Corp, I think, are hoping now that FPX make the decision to start contacting into B. Dizzy broken. Martin can now play onto the angle. It's watched for the shot. Missed and go to wide.
But they haven't heard the dash. They know that Martin has not left that in a hurry. There they hear the shot from the operator, and Martin's going to bait that out, make it feel like he's still there, and try to rotate to anticipate this attack side rotate that Berlin is calling.
Yeah, and he is. He's already called it for the rotation. The troops on the move. And guess what, Martin? Again, one step ahead. Like you said, still has the dash in his back pocket. Didn't end up using it to escape.
A lot of flashes that he has to dodge here, though. Leah, Dizzy, both broken. Narrate with a pick.
I mean, Narrate just back towards rafters there. Dizzy also returning as well, getting the acknowledgement that there's players there. Now there's 45 seconds left. Could pivot into a different direction if you want to, but FPX looking a bit indecisive. Just a pause in the play. Now the paranoia. Sent flying here, but again, no connections. Martin towards the back. Trying to go wide here with a Dizzy. Narrate is on one, man! He's on one! Almost there for the ace, but 4 kills eventually shut down in the end, but 7-0. The scoreline we're looking like. The round differential is immense right now, and you're truly seeing it. I mean, we said on paper it was going to look like one of our more one-sided matchups, but Karmine Corp, in almost just every element of the game right now, they're ahead of it.
And they're destroying them. Kakuga said on the desk, trying to break the Leah and the Dizzy in one go. Narrate's like, yeah, bet. Just rinses them both before FPX can use them to get into the site, and then swings around for 4 kills afterwards. FPX are getting pasted. And I think it's a really interesting idea, right? This is one of our most one-sided matchups you could possibly see at the tournament on paper. But what does the parity look like? Everybody was saying, you know, anyone can win Madrid. There are chances for even these teams to be able to make upsets.
Even Magnum himself, you know, coming into this, they're not going to make a mistake with prior teams. You know, maybe they turn up to these international tournaments, they expect to have a freebie, an opening match that just is so one-sided, but Karmine Corp still showing him respect.
Absolutely. Yeah, Magnum said, quote, if I had to rate FPX in terms of macro, I think they have a lot of gaps. And then he said, but it's Valorant. Anyone can lose. Martin, under pressure, though.
Yep, Dizzy in his face, though. It does fade away. He's just absolutely caught a timing still. Autumn will shut down a counterpart. Damage done, but no kill collected. Smokes at some point surely going to be fading. How are they going to get this spike down? They really don't have any options or tools, but there we go.
That's a huge one.
Yep, a gap available with that op drop down. Autumn picks it up, acquiring that upgrade. Now we can really just see if he can hunt for any more sort of kills. Now this is a player advantage for FPX. Question is now, how do Karmine Corp approach it? Dizzy, round to the back along with the molly. Players all over the place. Thrash to lead the charge. Entertainment there. Shin round to the side, but doesn't expect Berlin. And there it is. Okay, a round on the board for FPX. Thrifty win.
And that one basically set up by Autumn getting into a nice spot. Martin has been caught out in a number of these more aggressive positions. And this is the opening. He had a chance trying to take the timing, but then Autumn also finding this pick onto Tamashi over in Snowman. That sets up the player advantage, and FPX are finally able to capitalize and bring around to themselves. Can they work this into a little bit of momentum and make it less of a one-sided matchup?
They would love to. Now, back into the action, you're seeing it. Line in the sand drawn in terms of the skirmish.
Berlin has the
He's
operator.
got the operator, yeah, I mean, he's TP close.
Yeah, of course your IGL Omen has the op. Angel emote.
Now an attempt for them to try and get themselves into the side wall. Definitely impeding them. Dash to the top here. Dizzy in their faces. Everybody not able to see really anything at all, but FPX granted the site now. So that's online for them. A forward position here, playing inside the pit. This is really going to test Karmine Corp once more, especially with Autumn ripping off heads. Towards the back of the site, just really impossible to clear this through. And here it is, momentum on the side of FPX. This is basically a done deal into the round. Look at it, second one on the board. Now maybe you can start to keep this going.
That's huge. Didn't even have to use all of the ultimates at their disposal. still have the Thrash available for them in the next. And FPX using the pit to be able to establish much more aggressive post-plant positions, put pressure on KC before they can get into retake spots. Look, Narrate's just flooding out heaven there thinking, yeah, they're going to give us this space for free. That's what they've done every other time. And FPX have brought the battle to them. Amazingly enough, those 2 rounds have actually been enough to knock down the economy of Karmine Corp. So we're not seeing a full buy here.
I think the money would be flourishing, but instead, okay. At least Martine has a rifle.
Here.
Really quite aggressive into mid.
Very aggressive. But Martine hasn't been able to do too much from these extremely aggressive positions. He's the danger in the round. The rest of KC mostly playing for a little bit of plant pressure and then the retake. Martine's been the dice that they roll to see whether he can find value. And this time, just missing the timing of FPX, who've all gone into B.
Clear and Dizzy all comboed up. Smokes to get himself into the deeper angle. Autumn, he's here this time. Not using that second smoke to block off this one. Autumn, he's got the operator. Aiming to lock this one down. 2 potential positions. Shin, he's taking out Berlin. Now Berlin's been playing in that angle all the time, honestly. Most of the time.
Yeah, and it's a spot where Autumn can't actually hold for Berlin to get into position. It's a bit of a freebie there, actually. Karmine Corp giving it. That's decent damage there, actually.
Yeah, diligence being shown with the util to clear through most of this.
KC have a wall to work with, but there's a Thrash on the other side. Martine, what a peek.
What a return! Ayang goes straight there. And here it is with a spray down of life. War can't save you from that one.
Great awareness from Life. Adapting to what Karmine Corp have been doing, making sure that he's in a position where he's still going to be able to get picks over the top of the wall. FPX holding on in these post-plant situations. I mean, Ayang, he's like lining up a shot with Martine and Tomaji's right behind. FPX going from 0-7 to winning 3 rounds in a row with the potential to make this quite a competitive half.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it. You would not think it if you were only tuning in for the beginning, but they have the chance. Slow warp. Used here, Shin feeling the danger now. The heat turned up. That isn't okay. Slow warp. Don't think it was intended for that one. Molly's being used. Snakebite here close, and there it is. Actually, that bouncing into that wrong angle. Martine can't evacuate. Can he stand his ground? Can he hold it down? The answer is no.
And that's probably going to incentivize Narrate to try to make a play here instead of just playing for the player down retake. We get to see now. Do they trust the system? Do they try to go for the hero play?
Man down here, Snakebite forwards, Life. Tucking behind the box, out into the open though. Has to just spank on the rest of his teammates. Lovely movement from Ayang, Magnum. Nasty stuff, oh my! Almost making a go of it.
So close. And Berlin, the player with the open hand, goes for the rifle to win the 1v1 at the end and keep this momentum going for FPX. KC making a good job of it despite the fact that they were down players. But this opening play as Shin swings to try to relieve pressure from Martine. Martine can't quite get enough kills to help. Final round of the half here, and KC are going to be knocked down to 4 Bulldogs. There is a great chance that FPX get up to 5 and rewrite this terrible beginning they had to Icebox.
That's just insanity.
The pick got popped down over towards B. No immediate pressure. So Tomaji might think that the rest of FPX are looking to work down mid or over towards A. Martine once again alone on A. Tucking himself into these aggressive, unexpected positions. But generally, FPX have been able to either dodge or deal with it. It's slow and somewhat ponderous, though, for FPX in the first 40 seconds of this round. Now they're making a commitment to deal with some of Magnum's utility in mid and create threats and pressure around. A leg.
Oh, it's betrayal. And there it is, sets up Autumn for an easy one.
No possibility of that being rezzed.
Cover going out.
It's now being offloaded. Dash towards of Autumn. Top of the box, just spotting. Head of Shin, unable to rip that one off, but Berlin's caught into the mid flank.
And now the ult online. Magnum has that retake ultimate that caused so much pressure for FPX previously.
Could be opting to use this as a really forward backside position. FPX are trying to fight this one. Then they realize, at least now that the lockdown is down, but do they have any util to try and fight this one and clear it? Out and through, they don't need util, man! They got guns and weaponry still, locked down. Didn't get broken. 1v2. Plays out a dodge here from FPX, so the positioning is going to be known and noted. Narrate, how do you hit that into the 1v1? Wingman, exactly the partner in crime that you'd want, at least taps out of position, trying to force Life out into the open, but it's a guessing game for Narrate entirely, doesn't know where he is, and Life playing time immaculately. It's 7-5, and how the bloody hell did FPX salvage that?
What a ridiculous comeback. We were all ready to talk about how it was playing out as expected on paper, and then FPX fire back with 5 in a row.
One enemy remaining.
And a lot to do with the rifling coming online. I feel like Ayoung has just woken up.
Go on, look at me, bro. Let's go.
They're fired up. They're feeling it. Life on his feet.
They certainly are. Let's send it down to the analyst desk to bring it down for the half.
Thank you very much, guys. What a great half that was. A nice comeback from FPX, but Kakuka, it all started with a great chain of rounds coming from Casey.
Yeah, exactly, and it was a perfect example of what we were discussing, right? Those retakes coming in, the protocols being completely sharp up, coming in from Casey. I think that round 5 is a perfect example of it, when we would see the exchange of the ultimates from Gecko, and they know exactly where to put the pressure and how to address everything that is going on in the map by the positions that they expect the other players to be in. The follow-up from each of the players, it's clean, but then after those 7 rounds, something changes in FPX maybe.
And for FPX, I think the adaptation was really good. In these post plants, once they got that spike down, once they got that space, they were using that second Dizzy refresh to fight forward and get space in these late rounds and really punish KC while they were still setting up, getting their util in hand. That's the X factor of this team. They will sometimes pull out these hyper-aggressive rounds where they stop you from setting up the way you want to play. It was really good on that comeback.
I think it was a little bit of both, right? We have a Casey that maybe is getting too comfortable because everything is working, and an FPX that, you know, starts making a little bit of mistakes. We see, you know, the flashes being a little bit separated one from another, but then when they realize that they just have to disrupt that and just keep pushing a little bit more, that changes. Now, coming into their defense, as I said, it's very complicated to defend this map without a Sentinel. The aggression has to be there. FPX is very known for that, and they have to keep it up if they want to keep that score up.
It absolutely does, but if KC wants to close this map out, they have the fans to do so in this arena right now. There's not a huge amount of fans out on day 1, but every single KC fan feels like 10 of them.
Yeah, shout out to the Gentlemates fan as well in the Gentlemates jersey, but this blue wall, it is looking so strong, but I'm going to send this back to the casters and see if KC can close this one out.
We'll see if they can close it out, but listen, FPX, kind of momentum behind them as well. All it takes is a pistol round. You've got an even match, at least an even map. And this is a team, and I mean, a reminder, I think this is an FPX squad that's got a bit of a chip on their shoulders from the previous international appearances. They want to turn up to this event, and they want to really prove as well that teams should be paying attention to them. They want to teach teams how it's done. They've literally said that themselves. For Karmine Corp, left reeling a little bit, I think, as well, off that string of rounds, but we'll see. It's a new half now, getting started with a pistol.
And it looks like there might be a clash at B main to begin this one very quickly. It's an unusual spot to fight over. Not too many teams trying to fight this area aggressively. But FPX have got a pistol round strat that involves them pushing down mid off the back of this pressure.
Yeah, the Viper Wars.
They've actually abandoned it very early though, Brent.
I mean, the Dizzy, surely you collect the kills. Berlin gets 3.
That's wild.
Get the hell out of here. Dealing with the util single-handedly. I mean, the man was basically alone. And now, how do you clear this one out? Lee Saw to the side, lovely peek, off with the Dizzy. That is a slam dunk finish.
I don't want to hear any more about the blue wall. Tell me about the Berlin wall. That's ridiculous. I mean, how has he managed to pick up 3 there? That protocol of jumping through the one-way, I think is a really nice idea. First player jumps through, drags the crosshair is the game plan. Perhaps doesn't quite drag it far enough in that situation because they're swinging almost exactly into Berlin's crosshair. It just worked so well. Bottom of the scoreboard and comes out like that on the pistol. That's what you're saying, Brent. It only takes that 1 round.
They are being swamped in this position. Lexwell doesn't know which way to look. Teammate having it back. Okay, traded. 3 versus 3, equalized here. Dash forward to the peak, Ayoung.
They want to get aggressive and defend these weapons, I think. But Karmine Corp aren't even going for them.
No, not quite. Wall up onto the high ground. Really just props up Thomasy for an easy peek.
Spike planted.
Easy kill for Ayoung. Autumn there. Can't quite land the shots there with a Marshall, but finally a bit of damage done to the body. 100 left, 1 player left standing. It's Martin. Sort of plant down, but this is a really difficult situation to try and win. And there it is, spam damage and the flank attempt there.
Very surprised that Karmine Corp played that round so quickly after they got themselves into a 3v3. If they'd slowed things down, I believe there were 2 Bulldogs lying around for them to be able to try and pick up and use. But they got roped into the pace of that, and then all of the danger just kind of trickled away. See how Young deals with that boost play. It's quite a nice idea from Karmine Corp, but something we've seen a lot from these Sage teams. And you wouldn't have believed it if you only watched the first 7 rounds, but 7 in a row, straight back for FPX, means the game is tied here on Icebox.
He's set up now onto the bonus round. 2 players survived in a prior round here for FPX, so there's not too much danger, but guess what? The Avengers are flooding here. I mean, listen, the amount of players they've got trying to play that 4 position, Belt not really accounted for. It's a high-low setup. They are really mopping up the rest of these players. An attempt by Life, repositions, but just out into the open. It's all being watched for. Cheeky idea, I do respect it.
I love the idea. But FPX take a gamble, shove 4 players in, and KC, that discipline that we were seeing from them all throughout EMEA, I think that's the first round where you really see it exemplified here in Icebox. All down to 1. Looks almost impossible.
Yeah,
so
it's just going to be looking to do that.
Surely,
damage.
Surely here the streaks are broken. We don't see another 7 in a row for KC, right? It's not even possible.
It's really not. I mean, at that point.
You end the map 14-7?
Yeah, dusted. Maybe we get them to skirt the rules. We'll do first to 16.
FPX, though, really have shown that they're not willing to just roll over in these kind of games, especially when they're pushed. I mean, they certainly come into this one as the underdogs, but I had a chance to talk to Berlin before these games kicked off, and I asked him, how much better do you think this version of FPX is compared to last year's? If you were following this team in 2023, okay, they looked all right. They were making it to some of the international events. Since then, they've added Life, who's up towards the top of the scoreboard for them here. He's been a big player for them. And Berlin said 2.5 times better.
It's very precise.
I don't know where he quite got that from, but he's a lot more confident this year than he was in the last, when they were only able to get 1 map at 2 global appearances.
They've run the numbers. 2.5 times, maybe enough to try and take it against them. That's a cheeky play.
Cool idea.
All to boost themselves up. Berlin, no. Deals with the trespasser in through mid. And well, there is the follow-up. Ayang watching it for any sort of passerbys. Only 3 players now left standing for Karmine Corp.
Looks like a read to me that they were expecting Berlin to be playing B. Both of those controller players for FPX fighting over B. They baited out Lysor there, who swung off the back of a paranoia that was extremely optimistic.
They are so damn aggressive, though.
Willing to take the risks, aren't they? I mean, Ayang has just walked up all the way behind, and all of this in a player advantage situation where you don't need to force fights like this. It's a round winning or losing play, probably, that Ayang and Life have gone for. Karmine Corp are well and truly trapped here, though I don't believe they know it yet.
No indicator.
Here.
Contacting together. Opened at the gunplay, can carry them through a round like this one. Looking behind them, no, not to the side, not expecting a player out towards Yellow's Berlin. Still not cleaned up. Spike though, planted. 2 players though for them. Flash over the top, Martin. How's he doing this?
No
man?
way.
No way to Karmine Corp find that.
That's outrageous. FPX had them cornered, caged up, no exits. Utility being used from the back as well, and Martin ducks, bobs, weaves, and picks up 3.
You are joking.
How have they done that? I mean, the first pick, lovely. But then this kill before getting the dizzy, and then a jump flash into the...
Stand up now!
All right, a bit of fire with these Karmine Corp players in their first time on the Big Masters stage.
Getting heated. Stack though from the FPX players here. Ball is made to refight. What a shot. Still aggression showcased here by Martin. His teammates are going to be there with him. Got his back. Live. What?
You see KC have no idea that that was going to happen.
Even a possibility. Yeah. Just no idea at all.
They They didn't even think of that as a timing that FPX could have chosen for some aggression. You can see how the unexpected nature of how FPX plays can catch teams off guard. But thus far, Martin, in the last round and this, has managed to bail his team out.
Berlin, knives out, no gun. Watching for the mid-aggression.
And Eyang, they should have some idea, was over towards A earlier on. That Dizzy was used. His shooting's been fairly good. The most likely outcome here is that he just goes down and gets the Thrash online for the next. This game has been so streaky. There's only 30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
I don't see how he's able to convert. And KC are going to be able to respond with 3 in a row after FPX got 7 to tie it up. Now, would you refer to this one as a back and forth game, Bren? Because technically, it's gone back, and then it went forth, and now it's going back again.
Yeah, yeah. By the technical definition.
Yeah, but it really has not been competitive in the like round-to-round basis.
No, no.
Very streaky.
Very, very streaky.
Autumn's going to get an op online and try to peek under tube by the look of things. Would anticipate him just getting smoked off by Tamashi very early on, but we'll see.
Yeah,
He
there's
gets
an early
the pick.
pick. Wow, okay. Tomazi, Thrash. Used to see if they can clear and cleave their way in through B main. Yang. He's open to the window here. Lurk timing could be brutal. Lurk timing could be brutal. Spots the head. Spots the head. Magnum. He's racing ahead, man. Doesn't want anything to do with this. Look at him. Ducking straight into the floor. Maybe anticipating a repeat, but no, he's backing it away. In the meantime.
Yeah, speaking about repeaks, Berlin in a player advantage situation again. FPX deciding to try to make the play to win the round. Unnecessary, for sure. And Berlin does get punished for it.
Res on life for Shin. He's going to play for this one. Portion of the wall broken, but that's all good.
Yeah, thankfully.
All good.
Thankfully, Autumn wasn't watching that again.
There's only 45 seconds left. Walking their way over towards A. Starting to get a move on, though. What util do they have to try and clear close? They are, I think, quite scared of the prospect that life could be just in a one and done. Especially when he's playing Reyna. Does he see the head just onto belt there? Looks unlikely. Orb in his face.
30 seconds left.
Players approaching rapidly on the position. It's a double face as the orb goes down.
Only 20 seconds left here. No real utility as far as I can see for FPX to deny this one. Magnum is really far behind and has missed the timing.
Yeah, he has, but he's going to be making a call at least for his team here. Over to buy some time. Really wide face by Narrate. Claiming it. He's feeling it, man. It's falling around for him, and this time Karmine Corp are not messing around.
This is another situation where KC lost players early on in the round. They weren't expecting the op to be on that sight line. It is entirely possible for the Viper to throw that mid line up without exposing any part of their body. But Autumn caught Tomashi at the beginning of the round. And Berlin ended up making a mistake when they were up, and it just opened the door for Narrate to take over. Narrate for Karmine Corp, one of the North American imports over to EMEA, has been lighting the world up. He's been looking unbelievably good, but certainly one of those players that we don't know quite how they're going to perform when it gets to the Masters stage. Are the nerves going to be there? And Berlin goes walkabouts again in this round.
They just expect it. It's happened so many times now. They were doubled up. I mean, basically a high-low setup. One player crouched in front of the other.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the aggression.
Yeah, and it's very, very similar to what Berlin did in the previous round to lose them that player advantage situation. FPX have got to be careful. They've clearly got what it takes to be able to bring the game to Karmine Corp. But this has given me flashbacks of the finals they played in VCT, where they arguably should have beaten EDG, and they let so many of those advantages slip through their fingers. Here comes Eyang with the play again.
He's got a flash out in his hand, still gets one kill. Maybe setting up Autumn for a bit of success, but no, everybody cleaned up. Karmine Corp not even kicking with 3 of their players. Just got to try and hunt out where is life. Healed up now, not letting anything slip. Thrash there, connects, detained. Humiliation time on the grand stage as Karmine Corp are up to 12.
For our first knife kill of Masters Madrid.
Match point.
Do they really count when you've got the Thrash Detain on them? I think it is the disrespect.
Yeah, I think they shouldn't personally. Don't think we should be recording those in the stats, but
Yeah, this is very well dealt with by KC. You can still see some moments where they're not quite anticipating what FPX are going to go for, but for the majority, they have got this on lock. The anticipation of Berlin's push at the beginning of that round and the way they executed was immaculate. They're looking for that punish again onto Tomaji.
Here.
It's not there.
Not gonna get it.
Yeah, this time playing a little safer, doubling up with Magnum as well. KC 1 round away, 5 chances of converting. Keep it clean.
It's gonna be their aim. Tucked to the corner, that's Life, avoiding the initial flash cross from the ropes. Not accurate enough to win that fight out, but Dismiss in towards the back now. Underneath Rafters, plenty more players ready to try and fight him. Target-rich environment. Take your pick, take your time, son, because this is you lighting the world on fire. Life with the ace. Holy.
And he's on his feet after that one too. If the KC players are trying to keep him rooted in that seat, they've well and truly failed in round 20.
He's dropped 24 kills.
I mean, he's the only player that's actually able to evade the way that KC are playing, because he can get one, get out, and pick the most awkward timings through all of their utility.
Springs out of his seat, almost knocking it off the stage.
He's feeling it, definitely feeling it. Back into the fight. Back into the action. Karmine Corp, slow and steady. It's their approach to begin. They know how aggressively FPX are liking to play, and they do have both the duelist players. Dash still available. Dismiss there if Life gets a kill. Lots of exit strategies, but here we look at this. I mean, they're just holding for it. Still Life claims it.
He's on fire. Barely a shred of Narade poking out. Still manages to catch the headshot. Magnum's 1 away from having a massive ultimate, and they're sneaking around underneath them. Life goes for the re-clear.
It's a Dizzy, still, it's traded. Magnum is there. On for the 2 there. Yang drops down, Dash is there. Martins finds it. Forwards now. After the lockdown, it's 2v2. This could be it to seal the map. What is going to be the answer from FPX?
Walking out.
Walking out, hoping that they can punish, but no. Just granted the kill. And Berlin, the IGL, it's a 1v2. All on the line to keep his team in the map. Paranoia available. Smoke's still there, wants to walk though, doubled up, they're dominating the position. If he chooses to just peek ever so slightly into it, there was going to be a shorty ready and waiting. More smoke used. Tap, force him out into the open. No easy fights, no easy exits. That is Karmine Corp, sealing it up. Nice and pretty for map number 1, 13-8.
A bizarre opening.
Key in terms of the rounds with Karmine Corp, you got to expect, these guys are phenomenal on Lotus. It's a map that they've taken, many a strong team to. They look really primed on this map. They have a ton of great ideas. But now, how are they going to be dealing with FPX, especially Life on the chamber? This guy has been a standout in the past, and now he's going to be looking to do a little bit more. There's a smoke here. Haunt. Dealt with, taken care of. TP back with a rendezvous, but, well, Lysol just trying to help out his teammate.
Yeah, bit of a strange decision, actually, because Life already had the exit with the rendezvous. Just looking to try to find a timing. Now they're headed into Magnum's setup, where the turret is going to take contact. And this Viper wall, previously used by teams like Loud on this map, going to allow KC a really nice C retake.
You can see from Magnum's setup here with the nano swarms. I mean, it's just to make sure they can't cross past the wall, buys time for the rotates. As they hear now, the spike's going to be planted. Nice shot onto the target. The fight into the back of the site. They're not clearing the corner. Half clearance still. Autumn snaps it back around again. They want to really just take the fight in a battle. Straight to them, FPX. And not messing around. Shin. So much to do. Doubled up, stacked up. They give him a freebie. 3 kills now. But a 1v2 and 17 health to do it.
Almost impossible. He doesn't have very much information about where the others are positioned. And Life, with the Sheriff just watching this smoke. He's going to put it down.
Yeah, double set up there, high, low, and Karmine Corp quite ready there for the aggression, at least a second wave of things.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looked like they were ready for the aggression, if anything. I mean, Narrate is tucked into the corner, has his pick, should have been able to pick off Autumn. Oh, that glance behind. And yeah, it's just the fact that Narrate isn't able to hit the go shots to be able to pick up a couple of them there in that split second. But certainly, I mean, to your point, FPX pushing so deep. They were taking a fight against Shin and Spawn, basically. And if that's the adaptation that they use, going from map 1 to map 2, to keep trying to fight Karmine Corp at all times, never allow them to set up for the retakes, I think that's a very good strategic idea.
Works well. Really does.
And you said as well earlier, Brent, that Karmine Corp have got a lot of experience on Lotus. They feel very comfortable there. The desk was talking about that too. But they've also played mostly against more meta compositions and relying on having a great understanding of how those work, the timings those take, the utility that they throw. They had very good specific anti-strats in EMEA too. This FPX team does not play conventional Valorant. No. And the composition shows that, but also the way that they run it shows that too. And it's going to be a little harder for KC to get a read on.
KC showed her hand, really, that the stack is over towards A, forcing the pivot now in towards B. Having to stop this. I saw back position, almost asleep at the wheel there. Needs to call for reinforcements and backup here to try and play this crossfire. Setup, Bulldog singing true, finding their marks. Very wide face, but the second shot of the Outlaw is enough to shut that one down. So should be very clean and clinical round here for FPX. Second one now for them.
And it's also close to getting Ayoung's ult online, so I would assume he's going to try to chase. Berlin snipes it, steals it for his first ult point. Don't worry, we don't need the Gecko ult anyway, I suppose, as we head into the bonus round. It would have been nice to have it online. Still possible, of course. Ayoung might get it for post-plant here, with something like an ult or pickup and a plant. But KC, the war machine, starts to rumble. Tomashi picks up the Odin.
One enemy remaining.
This team as well, Karmine Corp. Warbang lineups. I mean, you're seeing FPX as well take a turn with it as well, initially in the prior round, but now we're getting started. Just trying to punish that peak. You can hear the shoulder just sticking out of life. He goes for another one.
Very bold, very confident. He was dominating in the individual fights when it came to Icebox, so I can respect that level of confidence. But KC, punishing him there. And despite the fact that there were 3 players from FPX defaulting over towards Mound at the beginning of the round, they don't actually have any control there. Double smokes, and Ayoung's Dizzy has had to be used twice already in the round just for Mound control. So they're still 10 seconds away from using that in any kind of push into C.
Shin smokes as well. I mean, they jut out just far enough to really put the fear into FPX, wondering if there could be a player lurking and creeping. The door is going to be hit there with a switch. Now a call is made. Paranoia, Dizzy, everything offloaded all together. Shin is really in dire straits. He needs some help from the rest of his team. Dodging and juking side to side. How does he get the 1 kill eventually? Falling. Backing away here, Narrate realizing he has to respect this one. Doesn't want to toss away his life. Wants to play for the full retake with the rest of his team now. Plant.
30 seconds left.
Actually denied there. That's a perfect placement of the nade, yeah. And a kill.
I mean, if anyone was going to go down, and I thought it would be Autumn on 30 health, but Lysol just tanks it. Maybe not hearing that in the moment.
Narrate, despite the fact that he's spamming down, trying to get a second bite of the apple, taking out all of it, leaves it to Berlin. He's just got so much to work it against him. Berlin, hello. Here's your time to shine, but Tomashi shuts that one down right quick. So bonus round conversion not there, but he made it a hell of an expensive round. I mean, listen, only 1 player surviving.
Yeah.
KC.
Absolutely. I mean, when Lysol goes down to the nade, it looks like KC are going to have their pick of that one. It's going to be an easy battle, but Berlin once again in a pretty similar manner to what he did in round 13 on Icebox.
30 seconds left.
Being able to get way more value from a position than you would expect from him. Makes it very damaging to KC's economy. So now, Karmine Corp coming into the next round have a Bulldog and a Judge to work with. Martine is playing Judge Raze here at the front of B to start this round. FPX haven't been wandering close to B. But I wonder if they're going to try to set up some kind of trap here on Mound.
A chance of it.
Open the door, blast pack out, do something crazy with the judge, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, Shin's position is playing really quite far forward there.
The problem is, the more space that you give them over towards A here, Bren, the more that you're going to allow A-Young to get set up with the Thrash, push Magnum into uncomfortable positions, and get plants down on A. So this is, despite the fact there's a Killjoy and an Odin playing on the A site, this does look a little weak.
There it is now, Thrash clearing out towards tree. Magnum smart enough to give up the space. Be free gained now. The plant down for Berlin. Unconventional plant spot. Post plant doesn't allow you to play from stairs to really try and spam that one down. It's actually tucked to the corner. Heavy reliance on tree. See if that bites them here. Here's the initiation, the moves in with the judge, eventually shutting down that threat. Martin can't get anything done, but Karmine Corp still there with the rifles. Off to the side, Autumn inside the smoke. The rate. Last player left standing. It's 1v2, maybe even second guessing himself, wondering if he gets another one, could be played, but no. Now making the smarter decision here, so saving a rifle, running away with it. So FPX up to a third round.
Yeah, getting themselves into a really nice position. The thing that catches Karmine Corp off guard there when they go for the retake are the unconventional swing timings from FPX. As soon as they hear the Paranoia double blast pack come out, FPX don't respect it, they swing into it. And that catches KC as they go to try to push off the back of the utility, taking gunfights at unfavorable timings. And you'll see here Berlin just manages to catch this one. And you also have Autumn coming out through the smoke. Perfect timing to try to catch Martin in the back.
Enemy remaining.
The damage that they did on the bonus, capitalizing there. And leading to a really nice beginning to this map from FPX.
That's fantastic. And keep this one going as well. Listen, generate the ultimates, keep using them to just snowball your way forwards. I think the more rounds as well that FPX get and start accruing is that question you brought up earlier, you know. Karmine Corp, they've been playing against the Metacomps. How do you deal with something that's a little bit less standard, especially against a team that plays a little bit less standard too? You know, FPX, we've been seeing them play. I mean, they don't shy away from a lot of individualistic plays.
No, not at all.
Shin tucked to the corner. Will he be taken out? Yeah, and dealt with. Winning the showstopper there against the weaker buy.
Yeah, so expensive, but starting to build up to, you know, a Viper's Pit for the next as well, so the ult cycle is still not in a terrible situation, even though they felt it necessary to invest that. They're in a great spot to be able to close this one out too. The weaponry is not great on anyone other than Narrate.
Old Northern players down for the double face. Autumn, 3 in a round, might be looking for another one. There it is, with the fourth, so...
With the classic of all things, too.
Steadily building his way back up to his own ult that he just expended. 4-1 here. FPX might be starting to run away with it. Important round coming up now. Take a look at the economy. Karmine Corp be able to get some of those rifles online, but they don't have any big ultimates of their own, really. Yeah, I mean, okay, Martini's one away. Maybe if he gets a kill, get the showstopper too, but it's imperative, really, that they put a stop to FPX here.
Especially if Lyso starts getting into position to pit on the site. Because we saw that on Icebox, that the pits and the more aggressive post-line positions really messed with KC and the way that they wanted to approach things.
Early fight. Here, my life. Doesn't expect that Shin has already crossed one way. Might just see the feet.
Not quite catching it.
Yeah, not quite.
Oh, has he got a glimmer of it there, perhaps? I don't think so. The boombot used from Autumn close to B main as Life forced to teleport away. Autumn has not quite cleared Thomas yet.
Yeah, it was broken. It gave the indicator. It gave the indicator for Autumn.
Great movement to be able to escape.
Really heads up as well. Knowing that the boombot was cleared, he's expecting it. He's like, okay, potential there, behind the box tucked. First kill for them, so 50 seconds now. Making the moves over towards the A site. Magnum is here, ready and waiting with the setup. That's the nanoswarm still. Paranoia goes wide. He's holding an off angle. This is really quite aggressive. And Autumn just offsets the movement. ever so slightly enough flank around Shin. They weren't expecting that one with the TP, but he's only one man. What can he do? Paranoia glides, TP in face.
No way.
No way. No way. Shin. That's monstrous. And Life, he's nowhere near. Sticking this one through. Where's the defuse, but not a clue. Still half on it. Life puts him to bed, puts him to rest.
What a kill to end that! And what a play from Karmine Corp. An attempt to try to set that up. And timeout called. That was an enormous investment. I mean, the play that they went for there, Nightfall into the Omen ult. They had no idea that Shin was all the way back there. They had no audio cues. Paranoia, so they have no audio cue on this either. Shin was set up for success. And Life shut it down.
I said at the beginning of the round, that was a pivotal one. Economy going to be reset here for Karmine Corp. Instant timeout called.
Yeah, this is now serious danger. KC unveiling one of their big ideas for how to go for a retake there, or at least to put pressure onto FPX as they were going for the plant. Using a really nice ult combo, still gets stuffed. And Autumn is currently sat 12-3, up at the top of the scoreboard for FPX. Finding so many good timings. His awareness in that round to be able to pick off Tomaji early on. In the previous round, to be able to catch Martin as he went for the double blast pack retake on A. Autumn has been playing wonderfully here.
Pride of OCE. Stepping up here onto the big stage.
And so many conversations about, you know, what do the communications look like within FPX, because Autumn isn't super comfortable with only speaking Chinese inside the team, so they're having to do a lot in English too. Is it worth it? Well, if he plays like this, it is.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And Life, who was at the top of the scoreboard on Reyna, is still 6-1, barely been punished. Only that one time where he overstayed his welcome slightly on A.
Double control given up, FPX happy to do so. Autumn also one away from his ult.
Yeah, and look at how that round is about to spiral the ult economy out of control for FPX. This ult cycle is getting monstrous.
Magnum is tucked here, has the stinger. Too much util, still finds the kill. Just taking the timing as well, knowing they were going to explode into the side, and he backs away, so toss away his life for no reason. Plant.
This is going to be difficult, though, for Karmine Corp, because they're going to come back into this against potentially big ultimates, if Autumn or Lysor are able to get a pick. There are huge ults on the other side. It might have been a good idea to try to stack one of them, the plant.
Yeah, potentially, because Martin's now going to be coming back in. Nade, rebounding, snake by ults, offloaded. Thomasy, what a shot, what a shot indeed! The players are toppling here, the rifles matter not. Karmine Corp on display, showing exactly what makes them that #1 seed from EMEA.
And just a bit too passive from FPX.
Thrifty.
Resting on their laurels, not remembering the game plan that they had coming in. And that's our second MasterCard Thrifty of the series, I believe. But from what we'd seen earlier on, when Karmine Corp were fighting aggressive post-plants deep into spawn to this, like almost the most passive way that you could play this situation, not loading the plant into Lysor or Autumn, where you would have a big ultimate to be able to work with. Bit of a misplay, but like I said, the ult cycle is demonic right now for FPX.
Everything online.
They have literally everything, yeah.
It's a rubble fight, not being contested early by FPX, so it had nothing to do with it. KC not even really using too much util of their own. Stalemate just to start things off. Life with the tour de force. Hoping that he can contact in as a slight gap into the smoke. He was praying that Magnum potentially cross into the sideline.
And Magnum is just holding angles where he would be able to catch people, you know, blast packing in with an ultimate. He's looking to try to catch Autumn in a very non-committed place, Magnum, but one where he can just catch headshot sightlines.
Paranoia sent flying out towards B. Narrate's going to be calming this. You still.
Not a full commitment though at all, is it?
No.
It's just supposed to feel fakey.
All over the place here, but really there's not too much behind it. Still, okay, Prowler, peek, Martin, what? A shot, the quick scope of life. Shuts that one down, now the showstopper. Or lay it out on top of it.
left.
Magnum, he's out of there, vacates it, wants nothing to do with it. Side control going to be gained for them. Fight's being lost all over the place here with Tomasi losing that one. Paranoia swinging through, a little bit delayed here, but FPX are the ones that are coming out on top. Kill feed, filling up with red, and that's all they're seeing right now, hunting for the kills. Magnum, lovely shots with the discipline. Shin, resetting the aim just enough, 1v2. Does he still choose to make a go of this?
He's worried about those aggressive timings that FPX like to take. Fear in his heart, causing this to be a retake. Sorry, a save. Meaning that KC are in a hole right now, and in a whole lot of trouble. FPX still with some big ultimates that they didn't feel incentivized to use there. We were watching that fight happening over towards the defender's side spawn. Actually, the big deaths happened in Waterfall.
Yeah.
Those are kills that I think either happened over the top of or through a smoke, and obviously that first pick is massive. But yeah, just as that smoke was about to bloom, it's a one-way actually from Berlin. That's so nice.
Interesting ideas.
Lovely idea. And not something that KC was set up to deal with. It is an attack-sided map from everything that we've seen, but FPX here are looking so much more successful than they did on Icebox.
Cover going out.
One ways exchanged, Berlin. Looks like he could be playing into a deeper angle, potentially even inside the one-way, but...
FPX previously, when they had Ayoung's ult online, did end A. They expected it to only be one player there. It was Magnum with an Odin. And now Ayoung looking to make his way towards A again. But Berlin with the spike on B. So there's a serious potential that this becomes an A fake with the Gecko ult into a B pivot. That's going to be challenging for KC to deal with.
I think it depends on the success of these A players. Berlin does have the ult tucked away to reposition to A if they are going to find a kill, but no. All broken wide. Paranoia was sent flying a bit prior here, and they've put players into 4 positions with Lysor. Be attempting to backstab.
Weird though, because that means no pit available on site.
Lockdown. Goes forwards here with a thrash. They want to seek to try and fight this one. Really far back positions. Can they deal with it? Magnum nails it with a detainment. There's 2 players there. They can't actually enter the fight, but really, they've done the damage here with the bodies. Nothing to break this lockdown whatsoever. Life was being pressured onto that position. Once more detainments across the board. Narrate sticking forwards here. Sees half on the board. Magnum really just seeking to delay. He's got his teammates back. Ayoung forcing out the wingman. Horn drops down, rebounds, half on it, really needs to swing wide. Magnum needs to shut it down, not even necessary. It's Karmine Corp with the win in that round. Themselves that 3rd one.
Really important round for KC to be able to get on the board. But I like the ideas actually from both teams. Sure, we didn't see the pit on the site, but we did see them save that thrash for a post-plant situation to try to challenge the lockdown. Unfortunately, the fights just simply didn't go their way. Magnum being able to pick up both of them in that situation is just enormous. If he hadn't picked up both, there's a great chance that FPX are able to push forwards, get the kills, break the lockdown, and it's a round done and dusted.
A lot of aggression out towards A rubble now. Well, okay. Deep Horn just tagging up there onto Lysor. Couldn't stand his ground there, and even Life traded. Taking out Paranoia to set that one up, jumping up into their face. Shots going wide. It's the weaker weapon, so it should just be an easy job finishing them up.
1 enemy remaining.
Strenuous. There's a rifle gained here for Berlin.
He doesn't have the spike.
No, he was hoping to just TP himself out of there and doesn't win the fight out. So, real rapid one. Round 10.
But now FPX rifles back on board. And this is where the ult cycle has declined a little bit here for the attack side team. But they haven't really been able to find use out of this pit. It's been the one big ultimate, actually, that they haven't used at any point. They're going to take a timeout here, discuss what the round game plan should be. I feel like the game plans have been good from FPX.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, apart from that one round, was it round 7, I believe, where they just played a little too passively. For the rest of it, they've been up, aggressive in Karmine Corp's faces, forcing the duels, utilizing nice pieces of utility like the one-way on C, the Thrash to push the lockdown over towards B as well.
Really proactive calls being made by an FPX team that, honestly, I thought were going to be riddled with these communication issues, you know, having to really translate twice, you know, Berlin having to talk and describe these game plans throughout. It led to the macro game of FPX looking a bit weak. I mean, Magnum pointed it out. We've said it many times now over the course of the series. But that hasn't really been the case. I mean, they have been rapid in terms of the way they've been pressing the issue, forcing KC to react to them. And it's been by hair's breadth, really, in terms of KC being able to win some of these rounds out. Maybe they can even it out. Maybe they can make it 6-6 here. Timeout is being taken by FPX because they're feeling that struggle now to hold on and maintain this lead that they've gained.
KC have also, I think, found it a little difficult to tell exactly where FPX have been moving around the map. Because they're playing quite far back. I mean, they're pushed forward in like B main at the beginning of the rounds, that kind of thing. But generally speaking, Karmine Corp are taking a more passive approach to the defense, relying on those good retakes. And that's giving FPX a lot to work with. Here we see KC start the round with 3, ready to play around A rubble. A very classic setup here on the defense.
Just the one-way used. Berlin hoping they hear the sound cue of that one. Viper's Pit dropped down in through C.
And Narrate actually saved all of his Fade utility. Didn't throw any for the rubble fight at the beginning of the round. They're not worried about that area of the map. KC have maintained control of it at the start. And now you can see both teams saving a lot of their utility. They're expecting KC to play passive, and they're also not really fighting rubble, so both teams coming into the mid-round here with tons to work with.
Just conserving everything. A lot of contact plays online. Reclearance of rubble is called. Snakebite and a nade combo is excellent, but no players ready to receive. Still, it gives them the space. Haunt really actually catching on to a few of these players. They're lucky to be alive, backing away. Meanwhile, out through B, that's a trade from Ayang, and even more so.
Oh, that's wild.
He's ripped away Narate's head.
And he's just swinging through an Nanoswarm there as well. He's opened the round up so wide for FPX. Looking to try to get another, and he does. Ayang's been such a beast in this series so far.
Hit dropped down. Berlin's watching for it. You can hear it, the rumbling of the footsteps. That is 7-4. You're exactly right, Josh. I mean, Ayang has been a difference maker.
Like I said, Narate didn't use a Prowler, a Seize, a Haunt, whatever, at the start of the round. But he did Prowler B main, and he found out that there was a Lurker there. But he thought it was only one. Magnum is about to pull out his turret after killing Light there, because they are so convinced there would only be one B Lurker. They're getting caught off guard by the unconventional way that FPX are playing, and it creates moments like that, where KC have an assumption that is wrong, and it bites them in the ass.
The money is just absolute bargain bin purchases for Karmine Corp. Working with scraps to the final round of the first half. It's led to them to make the decision, really, to just give up C. I mean, they went aggressive towards B main early, hoping that they could maybe get a favored fight, taking it with the numbers that they've got, but for now, space given and granted for FPX out towards C mound.
And Ayang picks up his ultimate. So FPX really happy to work the map. And this is looking like another one where they fake it. Bit of a feint over towards C. Now opening the door, putting pressure on Magnum here.
Pulls out that trap play setup, this wall tucked behind it. Magnum, maybe he could do something about it. Nightfall here, forward sound cues, missing, taken away. Plan still online for it. No, he's just spotted. Everybody watching towards the wall, but that is a nasty shot by Tomazy. And through main, could have blocked that angle up. Actually, might just be through the Smoke here. Oh, sound cues, Life is really just going to rely on his aim. Smoke finally blooms and blossoms to cut off these available players, but guess what? That flank of Lysor is coming in right from the side. Tomazy sticking, half already, has to get off of it, has to get the kills, but not expecting it. The full wrap around and an 8-4 finish for this opening half.
Very nice ending there from FPX. Good way of adding extra layers into that. And a very competent attack side. on a map where KC have been very dominant in EMEA. It's an attack-sided map in general, so don't count out the European squad from being able to make a comeback happen. But the pressure is now firmly on them.
I'll send it down to the analyst desk to break it down.
Thank you very much, guys. It is a great half and a nice start from FPX here. But let's take a look at a Verizon high-speed moment of the match, because this one goes to Shin. And what a play this was, Mimi.
Yeah, it was impressive, right? But this round started off so good for FPX. They got a huge advantage. And then Shin, I mean, just incredible instincts to get behind instantly on this TP and almost win it. But he did lose the round in the end. And that's the story of this half. It is FPX up 8-4. And for me, this was a very different FPX from map 1. It wasn't defined by life going crazy, by these super aggressive pushes in the late round. It was instead them playing really good fundamentals, starting off the 1-3-1, pressuring the extremities, and then late rounds, making really good reads and actually out-calling Magnum to get ahead.
Yeah, I think they out-mental the plan that K-Corp originally had for this map. If we look at the Viper wall that they were using from the attack, it differs completely from what we see in EMEA. We were talking about the Odin, Thomasy going crazy on that. It doesn't hold a lot of value if that position is not going to be held by them.
But this does get risky in the second half. This map, as the casters were highlighting, it's a lot harder to defend on, even with FPX having this lead. And I think on this defensive side as well, this is where we really get to see what this team is made of. They have to be on top of these rotations, because Karmine Corp is a team who's really good at selling these little fakes, at playing into the right site in the mid round, and then having super strong post plants.
Yeah, it is a healthy lead, but a pistol could change everything as we head back into the second half. With your casters, it's Brennan Saisho.
So for Karmine Corp, I mean, backs against the wall with this one. Hefty lead for FPX. Look to keep it going with the pistol.
Look at this pistol round buy. It's really interesting, actually. We've got 3 players with Sheriffs online. Shin on attack side Omen has bought 1 smoke and a teleport. So he's clearly planning to get value out of that as part of their pistol strategy. But if they're going to end B here, that means that they're only going to have 1 smoke. They're going to fight Heaven aggressive with the Viper wall.
Oh, again, trying to disrupt this one. FPX cracked open the wall out towards C, trying to double face this one, but they've gotten deep into Heaven. Karmine Corp. There's the second protocol, just leaping. Wow. Boundless, man. Jumping straight into the face of Ayang, and he can't withstand that kind of pressure. Into Link now, Paranoia. Sent flying, corners cleared, making sure they're there with the diligence. Nade rebounding, but Magnum holding down the ground, forwards. It's the approach, but again, there's just nothing to deal with this guy. He's just rattling off shots. Left, right, and center, straight from main. Finally smoked off. Berlin defusing. Half, sticking, hello, gets off of it, but now damage is done. Snakebite tap, they've got to realize this now, surely, with the time cues, but they all collapse in time. Karmine Corp, the pistol round win.
I thought there was a little bit of danger there. Turns out, Thomasy, he had his orb and a snakebite on the plan. So not too much danger. Berlin was maxed out at only being able to get half on the spike. This is the play, though, that really wins them the round. They're not just fighting Heaven aggressively with the Viper wall. They're planning to swing through their own Viper wall to be able to hard clear out anybody that was looking to try to play retake in that area. Great pistol round strategy. Well cooked up by KC. Gives them a chance.
A lot of util going to be expended here by KC. Some control towards a rubble, but a stack of 4 players going to be meeting them pound for pound. Yes, they don't have the weapons, but they do have the util. And look at that, Dizzy connection. Which way is the fight going to go? Paranoia blinded up. FPX could have gone in any direction, but eventually it's the Bulldogs that carried them through it.
Yeah, after that initial wave of utility, got the first 2 kills for FPX. They just couldn't quite hold on. As soon as the KC players could see, they shot back.
Last player standing.
And Life tries to make the play there, shut down. All down to Berlin. We've seen some outrageous situations from Berlin so far in this series. He's managed to pick up a Bulldog. But I think this would just be a little too much. He's gonna need a freebie.
Karmine Corp haven't really been offering too many of them. There's an option though. Magnum's just jiggling the corner out towards Link. Berlin making sure to clear everything before he starts the approach now. One smoke, two smokes. Freshly rejuvenated.
He's found a timing past Magnum,
Yeah,
but he's set up a crossfire. This triple setup is so strong.
You just don't win it. There's too much to account for. Too much to account for. So, 3 players surviving here for Karmine Corp. 3 rifles to carry into the bonus.
The Bermuda Triangle post-plant setup, you ain't getting out of that one.
No, you can't do it. Can't do it.
So yeah, this is going to be a fairly potent bonus round, but not the most that we've seen. There was a little bit of damage there. Also, something to keep in mind, Autumn was 12-3 to begin this map. So you look at where he is on the scoreboard right now, he hasn't been doing too much since that absolutely electric beginning.
A bit of a struggle.
In order for the FPX to be able to close this out and take their second map ever at a global event, you're going to need big players like Autumn or Life to really make sure that they can close this one out.
Berlin trying to make the most of the Odin spam. Well, that util was used just to set Shin up into a forward position through rubble. Now the second wave is going to be used quite early on here. I mean, talking a minute 20. Now, Karmine Corp could look to try and go all the way back over towards A. Berlin. He's going to get pushed out into the open. He's going to get pushed out into the open!
I mean, the Berlin moments.
My! Berlin, what are you doing?
They are wild.
Oh no, I can feel it, the danger zone. And it's there. FPX now forced to try and do a lot more. Ayang out wide into the open. Lysor, he's found his straggler up onto the opposite side of the map, but really the damage is done. Life has to make a go of it. Wall fades, no one accounting for it. Spike dropped down, he's brought this into a 2 versus 2. Definite chances here for him.
Serious opportunity for FPX to be able to recover this. Oh, that's a ton of damage onto Life, though. The Odin spam perfect, but he might have distracted for Lysor to find a timing.
That would have been the backside. Shin is just on top of the ropes, man.
That's a bonkers play to go for.
This post plant now gets so much more difficult. Lysor, how do you cut up these angles? How do you find the right fights? How do you isolate them? He's not even clearing Shin. Tucked up there, and there was a player ready to swing. Him and Tomazi, dynamic duo.
Should have been more dangerous than that, actually, for Karmine Corp. Shin somehow manages to make that one look easy by pushing with an Odin into heaven. But it's the player on the other side. It's Shin's opposite, Berlin, who just threw the round away so early on. This is an anti-bonus. You have an economy advantage to clear the round out, and he just wanders out through the rotating door. It's the kind of play that you should never be going for. And I think he just got completely lost with what was occurring there. Didn't think that KC were committed to rubble whatsoever. And we've seen a few moments from him throughout this series. He's matched the big round-winning plays with those kind of moments where he loses the plot a little bit.
Certainly has. Interesting play by FPX here on their half-bar eco, whatever you want to call it. They throw a ton of utility at a rubble, and they over-rotate immediately, so they have the stack. They're trying to force Karmine Corp right into them. They're going to get their wish granted. Martin can't see anything yet with the Phantom in his hands, making short work at him. Wide face, driving by. One player left standing, it's Autumn. Feels his position. Earns a kill because of it.
Spike planted.
Really should not be any more danger in this.
Now, with the stack dodged, KC should be able to rely on their discipline to get them through this one. No problem. The time's an issue. Autumn's been stuffed into a corner. Has no idea that these two players are so close.
He's getting bullied. Lunch money taken here. The high-low setup. Very little chance and opportunity. And so 8-8.
And not only 8-8, Brent, Karmine Corp now actually favored, in my opinion, because I talked about it on the attack side for FPX. The ult cycle is just monstrous. Look at what they're starting to get up to. Nightfall, Lockdown, available. Those are going to start to build up. The Pit and the Showstopper. This composition has so many tools to be able to chain stuff together on the attack side.
One enemy remaining.
Good job, guys. Nice.
And this now might be a little too late for FPX. They had their opportunities early on in this half to make it dangerous for KC, round 15, round 16, getting that stack that you called out too, and yet weren't able to convert on them. Now they need some hero plays. Because if you just look at things, all things being even, an attack side map where KC is starting to get big ults online, with the quality of this team, FPX should be in the squeeze right now. So they are going to need somebody to step up.
That's why the timeout's called. Honestly, maybe just reining Berlin in a little bit might help. But it hasn't been costing him too much, just that one round that just sticks out in my mind, of course, when he donated over the Odin.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you have those round losing plays in big situations, they're actually worse than the round winning plays that you get in some other spots. And when we think back to Icebox, one of the worst parts for FPX was that they were only winning 43% of the time when they were up a player, when they were 5v4, when they got the first pick.
I mean, speaks volumes, I think, about Karmine Corp's ability to turn situations like that, but also for FPX, I mean, that is...
They were tossing some of those situations.
It's pretty dire, isn't it, not being able to convert?
With things like going for those mid-round reclears and trying to take possession of the round even though you were up players. It's a very risk-positive play style that FPX have, but they can bite them. This is where you gotta try to take the risks though, I think. You can't just sit back and allow KC's ults to come at you.
Night 4, whole cacophony of util, used to try and clear out towards the C site. Even Shin's ult just being offloaded here, so...
Yeah. Looking to try and put pressure on anybody who might be anchoring into the site. They would have been deafened. Shin might have been able to get huge value out of an ultimate there. But they're not overstepping themselves and overreaching. FPX are now going to be in a retake with life, opping, no ults to work with.
And this lockdown. Precise time should be used here. Ults, util, paranoia, but it really doesn't do enough damage to clear this one out. So FPX forced to run away, tail between their legs.
Yeah, the mosh, the nade, none of it finding value.
Time now becoming an issue. Here comes the approach. Satchel's in, Dizzy's there, but Wingman follows it up, stunned up. Well, cosmetic in nature. FPX still all here now. Shin, last one left. Having a defuse. Oh, they're watching for it. They knew he was there. Barely enough with the time.
And what a retake from FPX. They hit the commit button and they won all of the aim duels. And they'd already used such big pieces of utility too.
How did they win now when they're retaking it off?
It's wild. I mean, look, no paranoia, no nade, no mosh.
Just being able to win the raw fights, particularly those kills against Martin and Tomasi there, being massive difference makers. Head in hands for Zeish. That was a round that KC were expected to win and did not. Big ultimates used too. It's broken their ult cycle.
What a time to do it for FPX. Same opening for Karmine Corp. Out towards C now. Lysor. That is a snake bot going to be using. Wow, okay, just spamming straight through. That's one way to clear the pit. If he didn't get it, at least Martin with a showstopper might have.
And I say broken the ult cycle, but Martin being able to enter the showstopper and Tomasi being able to get the pit online as well. They're fighting tooth and nail for this. Making sure that they don't get pushed into an uncomfortable spot.
Real uncomfortable though is the retake. How do you choose to take this one? The pit blocking off all the avenues out towards Waterfall. Thrash might be the answer here for Ayang. Berlin can't work his way through that one way. A lot of util being used to try and push them back, but look at how difficult this is. I mean, you're just clearing one section of the ult. Detained. Did catch, I believe, the one. Clearing through. Need the guns, at least with the fight. It's Magnum. Just dominating that one angle. Looks to really just step towards them now when he spots the final few players, and Berlin's out of there.
But what a response from Karmine Corp. Kept it simple, used the ultimates, got themselves a round win. And that builds up the economic safety net that they have.
Yeah.
But now it's 9-9 with all of the big ultimates starting to try favor FPX. You know, it's going to be a while before Karmine Corp have those to rely on to be able to string a round together like that. It does feel like Lotus is very based on what ults you have online. FPX, economy disadvantage, but it might not feel like that if you end up running into life. KC just looking like they want to focus on mount control into the C hit.
It's the same hit over and over again. The deep smoke that Shin places down, everybody plays inside of it to dodge any attempt of a flash repeat.
And this feels like they're just punishing the lack of the killjoy on the other side.
Yeah.
They're not worried about running into life.
They're scrimming, man. Practicing the C execs.
Very much so.
Autumn does have his ult. Needs to stay alive, though. If he wants to use it in this, any chance of it, a tap from the rate with the spike. They are trying to force out at least some util, maybe the ult out of them. Now sticking and committing into it. Ground setup. Backing them away with the rifles here. Karmine Corp. It is quite passive position, just giving up basically the back section of the site.
Does Autumn choose to ult? Down 4v5.
Would be a crazy one. That's essentially a solo swing there from Lysol. Not really set up for it. Life onto the flank. Lambot notifying the team of his position. There's not too many more pieces left for FPX to do anything about it.
And these last 2 rounds have been just what the doctor ordered for KC. It was looking on a nice edge that it could spiral out of control, and instead they've kept it so clean, only that 1 round going the way of FPX. And at this point, FPX are going to have to try to come up with a different way of holding on to C. You look at how Karmine Corp are taking mount control at the start of the round. Shin throws a smoke, they get a teleport into the smoke, they have double faces in case anybody's playing aggressive. They can use Fade utility there as well, Prowler when they get in. It's all very rigorous. Look, there's the smoke that you can see. Martine's inside of it instantly. They can swing out of this in a variety of directions, avoid any dizzy. If there's a paranoia, they can hide inside the smoke. You know, creates that little safe beacon, safe haven for them to play around. But they haven't neutralized the danger on the opposite side of the map.
No, looking for a re-clear here, but it's a high-low setup. Safety, at least for some of the players. Nanaswarm got to respect that one. Berlin dropping down. Nightfall now being used to clear. In the midst of all of this chaos, Berlin, man, he was setting up another one-way smoke. Still with the rifle traded. Shin rips that one away from him. 50 seconds left. Quite efficient on the attack side around here for Karmine Corp. Plenty of time left if they want to take a pivot.
But the problem is, the more the time ticks, the more Autumn's ultimate becomes a game changer. You do not want to get in a situation where you're trying to exec with only 25 seconds left and there's a showstopper on the other side. KC hoping that any stack over towards C would have been dismantled at this point because of all of that rubble pressure.
Feels like they're going to be pivoting into a B, A to B almost, with them opening the door up, but
high-low.
Set everybody out towards C, and the players, they're running away, but they hear it jumping around. Autumn, he's popped off the old high-low setup, not expecting it. The rate's already there, Dizzy avoided, but no, just catching onto him. 15 seconds left, has to deal with this player. He's got the spike in his hands, no teammates, nowhere near at all. He's got to try and force his fight out, and the rate wins it.
There's
8
no
seconds. He's got to get this plant down. And it's being covered, surely no spam, he does! An extension into the round.
Monstrous from the rate. He's 22 and 11 in the map so far, and trying to win this round almost on his own, waiting for the cavalry to arrive.
Horn spotting it, avoiding it. The bullets hailing down onto it, but his head just peeking out and over. No, rate can't be stopped, man!
It's just disgusting! The Des was talking about, do you like his Gecko more? Do you like his Fade? Narray is out here dumpstering people.
No matter what he plays.
Playing like this Flex initiator role. Sometimes we'll see him on Duelist, and you can see why when you look at this guy's talent.
That makes 3.
So many duels here that weren't favored, where it looked like an FPX player had caught him.
Ooh, Marshall. Marshall, can you look at me for a second? Oh my god.
Yeah, Shin's happy about that one.
This time Karmine Corp setting the sights over towards A.
And the push out C from FPX, they knew they had to change something up. And now Magnum's got the read on it. All right, so they were aggressive on C, let's try and push it into A fast.
What is that? Spam through, catch onto Berlin. Didn't stand a chance there. They catch the C push yet. Magnum is watching for it, knowing that.
Another duel, though, where Lysol could have found the timing. And instead, the Karmine Corp player comes out on top, readjusting the aim.
It's fallen to pieces. Liang makes a good go of it there. Looks away 2 of them, but not enough to withstand the pressure for the players there. Now, a deep push from Life. He's the last one left. Hold up, rotations, players. It's a timing game. It's a timing game. Shin's seen the barrel. He's seen the barrel and he takes care of him. 12 rounds. Now game for Karmine Corp. One step closer to taking the series entirely.
An 8-4 half. And as soon as KC get onto the attack side, navigating danger, putting together some excellent rounds. Chaining ults, punishing the C defense, reacting correctly too. And a reminder, yeah, we thought that this would be one of the least even matchups on paper. FPX came into this one hoping to be able to get at least a map, maybe a match win, show the global stage that they were capable of so much more than they've done in the past. Now they're 1 round away from getting knocked into the bottom portion of our Swiss stage.
Face your fear!
9-4, suspended once more. Prowler connecting, Magnum holding, watching. What is that by Autumn?
Those are amazing.
Hell of a time to come alive. His team definitely needed it, and the kills are just being collapsed upon. Shin has got his ult, picks up the spike, repositions now, but guess what? Berlin might be 1 step ahead. He's running his way back over towards A, anticipating this kind of reaction. A plant, though, won't be pushed back. So Shin has a chance to close the case entirely. 1v2, Ayang has the ult, a lot of util. Shin reveals his position, Thrash. No bunny hops online, wide swing and face there. Paranoia repositions out wide to the side. Shot connects, snaps to it. Shin will not find it. FPX alive for now in the map, as Ayang is the one to do it.
What a recovery in that round for FPX to find 4 kills off the back of Guardians. 2 players, the 2 star players, Autumn and Light, just being able to pop. Those initial kills though, Autumn, again, I keep wanting to mention, he was 12-3 at the beginning of this map. He's still only got 17 kills. If he can wake up, FPX can still bring this to overtime. The big, heavy-hitting firepower from FPX has got to come online now when they need it most. Otherwise, KC are going to win this series.
First time we're seeing a bit of aggression on the defensive side here from Life. Horns dealt with, smoke forward, so many positions to look for here, but a Boombot now, look at the levels to it, the layers to it. Boombot Prowler, you have to respect it. Rendezvous back now, and here comes the C hit. Pressure there. Martin was vulnerable up. There was a nanoswarm at his feet, but now there's a snake bite to try and respond, and a flood defense by FPX is caught. Dizzy missing wide, facing Lysor. He's got his 2 there. The rate is eager to take the challenge straight to them. He's eager to put an end to the entirety of this series, but a spike has been dropped into the middle of nowhere.
That's the big problem now. Extraction is the name of the game. KC, Magnum's trying to cause some chaos, see if he can pull people away from the C site, threaten some kind of wild lurk, but would they really push through Waterfall here to retrieve the spike? Or is it all a fake?
Subterfuge being thrown into the mix. There's a Haunt to clear the way, but Berlin is back up onto the space, into the angle. An essential kill, but it goes missing. And now Waterfall control is theirs. Autumn is there with a crosshair placement. And White now have to deal with these players. Karmine Corp! It's all down to 1v1. And this is it. Again, continuation of the series, or will it be that slam at dunk? Thomasy wraps it around, 20 seconds left. Spike still not retrieved. Thomasy! He finishes the job. On their feet before you know it. And it's a 2-0 wrap to the series for Karmine Corp in their opening batch of Madrid.
That's a great way to get the nerves settled early and showcase that you can do it on the biggest stage. The Global Masters stage. These players with such small amounts of experience, but such a great system behind them. And passionate fans that are hoping they can go so much further. FPX certainly pushed them, but no map win for the Chinese squad, who still only have 1 so far in these 3 global showings. They'll have more chances. This Swiss system gives them future opportunities as well, though they have no idea who they'll be facing next. You could say that about both of these teams, though, because to be honest, when you look at the other matches that you've got coming up, it is difficult to predict who the favorites are.